Welcome to another episode of What is Hashimoto's with Dr. Martin Rutherford. To find out more on any of our topics, or for information on scheduling a consultation with Dr. Rutherford, please visit us at whatishashimotos.com. And now, here's Dr. Rutherford.
So the question today is, can Hashimoto's be cured or can Hashimoto's go away? The answer is no. And again, I think if some of you have not seen me before, you know that I have Hashimoto's. I've had it probably since I was like 21. So no, because what happens is, you know, when I first got into this, there wasn't a whole lot of understanding how to figure out whether a person had even Hashimoto's or not. The lab ranges were all over the place. There was no genetic testing. There was nothing like that. And now you can test for genes. We have testing. We know what the lab. We're getting closer and closer to knowing what the lab ranges are to be able to definitively tell somebody they got Hashimoto's. And the reason is some of these tests can now tell us, look, you have a genetic problem. You have a genetic problem, and at some point in time, a polymorphism in your gene was turned on that says it's okay for my immune system to attack me. So your immune system is amazing. It's like, the more I read about it, it's like insanely crazy. It's supposed to take care of toxins. It's supposed to take care of. It's supposed to make sure all your food is like processed properly. It's supposed to kill bacteria, viruses. It's supposed to take care of your candida. It's supposed to kill everything. But it's not supposed, and it's supposed to do all that without attacking you. If you really think about that, it's pretty wild. Okay, so there's a fail-safe mechanism that allows the immune system to do that. Then there's not. So what happens? I don't think that the answer to what happens is actually completely known yet. Just I probably take 60 hours of classes a year on this type of stuff, and so I'm just saying that that there's an evolving understanding as to why it happens. What I think is known now is those of you who have developed Hashimoto's, usually there's a familial connection. My mother had thyroid. This was before anybody was talking about Hashimoto. She had her thyroid taken out. My aunt had her thyroid taken out. My grandmother had a goiter. I had an uncle who had Parkinson's disease. I had another uncle who has MS. I mean, so it was all through my mother's side of the family. So we started to notice that early on, that there was a genetic component to it. We now know that absolutely for sure. And what happens is when you have that vulnerability, that genetic vulnerability, as you go through life and you get these triggers, surgeries, having a baby, overwhelming infections, injuries, severe injuries, several things of that nature, they'll trigger an immune response. And if you have the vulnerability and maybe you're not taking care of yourself and you're leading a sedentary lifestyle and you eat like crap, all these things add up to, at some point you get one of those triggers and it's enough to change that fail-safe mechanism because you have the genetic propensity to develop an autoimmune problem, or specifically Hashimoto's. Once that gene is turned off, to my understanding, nobody has figured out how to turn that off. And so now that amazing immune system says it's okay to attack Dr. Rutherford, at least his thyroid and a few other things. But that's how it works. So it is, and as far as we know it right now, it's an incurable disease. When everybody comes in here, if they decide to start care, my very first lecture is, we have an autoimmune problem. It's not going to be cured. We're not trying to cure it. Okay, what we're trying to do is to do like you would know other autoimmune conditions to be treated, like multiple sclerosis, rheumatoid arthritis. We're trying to put you in remission with lifestyle, nutraceutical, dietary, changes that will overcome, reduce, in some cases eliminate triggers that continue to exacerbate your immune system and attack your thyroid. But you're always going to have to manage the case. And I mean, I'm there, I have to manage my life very carefully so I can come in here and do my job, really, mainly. And so I can feel good, but I have to watch what I eat, and I have to not over-exercise, and believe me, I get a lot of sleep, and I do relaxation exercises, and just, I don't over-exercise. I think I just said that. There's just a lot of things that you have to do, because to my knowledge, it's not going away. Well, is that going to be permanent? Is somebody never going to figure it out? I don't know. I think probably somebody's going to figure it out at some point in time. I don't know if that's going to happen in my lifetime, but for right now, the answer to that is no. It cannot be cured. Yes, it will always be there. So that's the answer to that question.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of What is Hashimoto's? To find out more on any of our topics, or for information on scheduling a consultation with Dr. Rutherford, please visit us at whatishashimotos.com.